Hey guys, Dan Maxwell Jr. here in the series that I'm coming up with for my fans over at danmaxwelljr.com, and hopefully we're going to be doing weekly YouTube shows for you to help you overcome obstacles and challenges, help you rebuild your confidence and achieve your goals. And today I want to talk about something that's very, very important. And it's something, I don't know if I will use the word popular, but it's certainly something that a lot of people deal with. I mean, Brendon Burchard, who I respect highly in the industry, did a YouTube video that got over 2 million views on this topic alone. I mean, other videos he does gets, huge views, 500,000, 600,000, up to 1 million. But this 11-minute video that he did got over 2 million views, and that tells me that the topic of fear is huge. How to overcome fear, and he does a great job at explaining how to overcome fear. But I want to go a little deeper today, and I want to talk about the 5 key fears that even successful people deal with and how to overcome them. And if you're on the path to success, if you're somewhat successful or you're still struggling, these 5 are the leading, the top fears, and there may be other ones, but these 5 fears are the top fears that people deal with. And so that's what I want to talk about. And the first one that we're going to look at is the fear of the unknown. Now, it's easy, to sit and think about, okay, what's going to happen 2 days from now, what's going to happen 3 days from now. People are just scared of not knowing what's happening next, and fear of the unknown is one of the greatest fears that we face. And when we don't know what's ahead, what happens is that we're left wondering, we're thinking, and your mind is busy. So your mind is going to start thinking about all sorts of things. Your imaginations will go wild, and you might get scary, and before you know it, it's all about what ifs. What if things go bad? What if things get ugly? And what if? The problem is we use the what ifs in a negative way, and they scare the shit out of us, if I can use that word. So, things like, what if he doesn't like me? Or what if she doesn't like me? Or what if I miss that sale? What if I miss this contract? What if I blow up this deal? What if I invest in this business and I lose everything? But here's the deal. It doesn't have to be that way. You see, you can choose to use the what if scenario in a positive way to empower you. So rather than think of what if things go bad, start to think about what if things go right. And that will then charge you. You see, I come from a background where I believe that there are always 2 sides to the equation. So if a particular situation could go bad, that also suggests that it could go right. And if it can go right, then let me focus on what if it goes right. So focus on what if, somebody says it's what if up thinking. I'm not sure what I heard that, but I heard it from somewhere. What if up thinking? But there are other practical things that you can do quickly. The first thing that I want to show you that you can use to lessen your fear is to know what you want and how you want to get there. And the key is knowing what you want, you see, because sometimes the how will change over time based on a number of different circumstances. And for me, coming from a strong manifestation and law of attraction background, I often don't think too much about the how. It's more about the what. And sometimes it's because we don't know what exactly we want and the outcome that we're looking for. We get blown around easily, and we start to shiver and waver. And take, for example, when I decided and I knew that I wanted to be a trainer, both online and offline, I started to divert all my attention into training. I stopped doing business plans. I stopped doing all sorts of consulting and started to focus on training. And then I realized that, look, you know what? If you are going to make the most impact, then you first must get known. And now my focus is strictly on online trainings so as to get known. And then when I am out there enough, I can start to do offline trainings and retreats and seminars and all those things. But the focus now is doing online trainings. And even as I sit here right now, there is fear, because I moved out of my home, because here in Africa the homes get crowded, and that's a whole different thing. But I had to get out and move to a hotel. Now the thing is, it's expensive in a hotel, but this is where I can be my best. And I had there was fear, and there's still fear. What if business doesn't go well enough for you to be able to pay a hotel bill? But then what if it does? And I think it will if I offer great value. So because I know what I want, I allow that knowledge of what I want to overshadow anything that could go wrong. The next step when it comes to dealing with the fear of the unknown is to be prepared. You see, planning ahead naturally helps you to reduce your fear of the unknown. Before making the decision to come, it was like, okay, when I get out there, this is what I'm going to do. Have a plan. There's a saying, there's a cliche saying that we all listen to all the time, and we sometimes use: if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Well, the truth is, if you don't plan ahead, or you're not prepared, then of course you'll be scared. You see, if you were going to give a sales presentation and you weren't prepared with the absolute knowledge of your product or service, and you didn't know your features and your benefits, and you didn't know what possible objectives and objections will come out, you might be a little afraid. But on the other hand, let's assume that you knew your product, you used it, you've done some trial sales calls, you've hammered down the benefits of the product. Do you think you're going to be afraid of what could happen? Probably not. So being prepared is another key thing that you need to do in order to get rid of that fear of the unknown. Another example that is not maybe work related, let's look at a case of driving. If you're driving and you don't have an emergency kit, you don't have maybe a wheel wrench and a spare tire, and those things that would keep you going if your tire were to go flat, you might be a little afraid of what happens if you have a bad tire on the rough terrain. But if you did, you probably would be a little more comfortable, and you wouldn't fear too much. Step number 3 in dealing with the fear of the unknown is to be flexible. Be flexible with your plans. Make sure that you're open to change. We live in a very dynamic world these days, and it's very important to ensure that you're not stuck on only one path to your destination, because there are so many different ways that you could get to your destination. So make sure that you're flexible with how you want to accomplish something, and that way you also ease the fear of the unknown. Step number 4 in dealing with that fear is seek out solutions. Are you asking for help? Sometimes we have the fear of the unknown because we feel we should do it all on our own. We don't ask for help, and sometimes that's a bad thing. So learn to ask for help. Learn to seek out solutions from the experiences of others. When challenges arise, devote your time and energy to finding solutions rather than just worrying about the obstacles. And if you make yourself believe that you will always find solutions, you're never worried about challenges that may arise, because you know within yourself that when those challenges do come, you will find a solution. You don't need to necessarily know what the solution will be, but you just know that you have it within you to find solutions, because that's what you focus on. Nurture your curiosity. Build your curiosity. That's another thing I want to talk about. When you're curious about something, you will feel a sense of excitement, and your life becomes an adventure. So rather than allowing it to be fear, let it be an adventure. Sometimes it's good to not know what the future holds, but because you have developed a curious mind and you're full of adventure and excitement, that becomes a driving force rather than a limiting a force. So nurture your curiosity. Step number 6: learn to live in the moment. Sometimes people just live in the past for way too long, and it's not worth it. So learn to live in the present. Learn to live today. Be here. Be now. Not yesterday. Yesterday is gone. You're not getting it back. But you have the option to build today and tomorrow. So do that. Live in the moment. When you immerse yourself in the present moment, you don't even think about that fear, because fear comes when you're thinking about the future. So the fear of the unknown, that's the tomorrow issue. It hasn't happened yet. Why focus on it? Focus on now. Now is the time. There's a movie called The Peaceful Warrior, and it's based on the life of a guy called Dan Millman, a world champion elite. Now, in the movie, tragedy strikes Dan in the form of an accident that leaves him paralyzed, and a mentor appears who teaches him how to live in the moment. And rather than focusing on his paralysis and what he used to do and all those things, or what he'll be missing out, he's just taught to live in the now. And although the doctors say he may never walk again, Dan stuns everybody when he uses this philosophy to become the world-class elite athlete once again. So there's a lot of power. And Brendan, again, I remember watching his intro video for the High Performance Academy, and that was one thing that he teaches a lot, and that is high performers are present now. Eckhart Tolle does. He has a great book called The Power of Now. I've read that book twice, and I need to read it at least 5 more times, because man, there's a lot in there. But learn to live in the present, and even as I'm saying this to you right now, I'm being reminded that I just need to stop and live now. The snipers have a way of reminding themselves to stop, listen, smell. I can't even remember the other one. I'll have to check it out. But I think it's SLLS. Stop, listen, look, and smell. And that's for the military. When you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling worried, when you're feeling fear, stop. Just stop everything you're doing. Listen to your environment. Look around. Observe the flowers. Observe the trees. Observe the pen you're using. And then smell. Smell the gentle breeze. Smell the fragrances of the air fresheners. Smell the breeze. And if you put these things into practice, not only can you overcome that fear of the unknown, but you become more powerful as a person. In the next video, in tomorrow's episode, we'll look at fear of failure. What is really failure, and how can we overcome that fear of failure? So until then, check you out. It's Dan Maxwell Jr. Peace.